Hi, I'm Subcom.
I'm gonna put up a basic video for basic wireless setup, which is gonna be in a few minutes. Actually, it's gonna focus on Linksys router, but our routers are the same anyway. So the similar setup. Once you watch a video for wireless setup for Linksys, and it should be all the same. Of course, manufacturer make it very easy to set up when you buy from the store and you plug it in, you run the CD. Of course, it comes with the CD. Very easy to set up. You pop in the CD and you follow the instruction and it should be all set. And why you want to watch this video? It's simple thing because you want to get a hand to it and you want to know what's going on. Get a little bit of understanding about the router has, and also have some flexibility and how to configure, how to set it up. And of course you can understand and better when you do that way, and it's much easier to troubleshoot too. You can learn how to troubleshoot later on when you watch more advanced video. But this is for the very beginner, okay, people who have no knowledge about setting up the router. So this is for the starter. And of course, one reason why you want to set up, it's called manual setup instead of running the CD, because you can set up very quickly. In 5 minutes you can set it up and running. Maybe you can use this knowledge and you want to help out your friend or your neighbor, and you don't really need to see a computer to run a CD, run the installer and do the setup, which takes more time. And also sometimes it's some sort of confusion. And so once you watch the basic, and you can help out your friend with this video, and let's say you go to a friend's house, he needs you to set up, you just connect to a computer and do the setup in 5 minutes. So that's the beauty of it when you know how to set up. So for this tutorial, I'm using a Linksys router. Again, this is a Linksys router, right? And it has support. So again, Netgear, Belkin, anything, all those are basically almost the same. Once you know how to set it up manually, you can set up the others. The only difference is that is how the user IP address, the default IP address, and the default password. And the interface might be a little bit different, but the basic thing is the same. You have internet connection set up, and you like it's called WAN, or you have LAN connection set up. That's all. So once you watch the video, you know what I'm talking about. So you're going from there, and then you kind of get along. So I don't have to go through all the wireless models for each tutorial. So this one should serve as the basis. So you can use Linksys, you can use Netgear. The basic information you need to look for is actually the default IP address and password. Like Linksys, it has the default IP address of 192.168.1.1, and the password is admin and username is admin. And also I promise not to use any technical term, very light technical terms, so you can understand it for you as the basic or beginner. And that way I don't want it to confuse you with any technical term. Hope that this would help people who watch this video. Okay, next, you just watch the video. Okay, let's get started. Here's the visual configuration, like a diagram that shows how the setup is laid out. You get the Linksys router, okay, and this is you have the cable modem. It depends on what you have. You might have DSL. If you have a DSL and this is instead of cable, it's gonna be going to the phone line, and this is RJ45 or network connection, okay, and then network cable. So what you need to do is actually you have your laptop that you're gonna be setting up, your laptop or PC. So you connect your laptop to one of the 4 ports here. This is called LAN port. That you're gonna plug your PC, your printers, whatever you have into here. And here is your WAN or internet port. So what you need to do, you need to plug the internet port to the cable modem. Okay, cable modem port. And the default configuration for the routers of course you need to log into a router. But before I start into log into the router and the setup, there are 4 or 6 steps altogether. So first step, you need to check your PC connection. What I mean PC connection, you check the connection to the router and you log into a router, and then once you log into a router, and you're gonna have to rename, it's called SSID, which is your wireless network name, and you set up the encryption and you change your password after that. This is the password to your router, and then you test the connection finally. So let's get started. So first thing you need to do, so let me minimize this a little bit. You need to check your again, like your PC connection. This is the first time you need to check it, to check the IP. Make sure you get a connection to the router. So this is under Windows 7. So you go to control panel. I have the control panel on the desktop, but in your case you can just click on start, control panel, and you go to network and internet, and you click on network internet sharing center, and you click on network adapter. It's a little bit extra step. You right click on local area network connection, and then you click on status, and here it is, click on details. Once you see that 192.168.1, either 100, 102, 101, whatever that is, you have the connection. This is the default. As long as you have this, as long as you see 192.168.1.102, that should be fine. Okay, for now, if you look back into the diagram, okay, the first step is already checked. The second step is to go to the router. So what you need to do is just log into the router by using one of the browsers. In this case, I like Chrome better. So you type http 192.168.1.1. Again, the default configuration for the routers on WAN, which is the internet connection, is actually DHCP. You're gonna have the automatic connection anyway. So under LAN, this is the IP address. It's just like your home address that you need to get started to log into a router, the basic configuration. So once you got in there, username is just admin and password is admin. So here you go, you type admin and password is admin. And all routers are basically all similar. The interface might be different, but the first thing you need to do to check under setup, okay, basic setup, this is your internet connection here. You see, by default is DHCP. So this applies to cable modem. In your case, if you have DSL, you're not going to check this. You want to check called PPOE, okay, PPPoE, and you're going to have to give the authentication, the username, password, your provider give it to you. In this case, it's a cable modem. And just remember, when you have DSL and you choose PPPoE, and then you get the connection, and you have, of course, DSL. Some DSL doesn't need the authentication, but most of them do. So basic setup, that's all you need to do under WAN. And under LAN, it's the same thing. That by default, it's actually 192.168.1.1. Leave it as is for now, because you're the basic, you're the starter. So all you need to do is just don't touch it anyway. If you need to do any more advanced, that's gonna be a next topic on the next video. Here's what it is. When you power up your PC, you're gonna see like it's gonna start with 100, 101, 102. It depends on what device starting up first, hooking up to the router. So in this case, the PC is 102, of course, because I plug on the other system. Okay, so leave it as is as well. And the next thing you need to do to check the status, this is a status that give you, okay, it gives you the internet connection. As you can see here, because of course, because I have my internet connection, assume that this is a cable modem. Of course, I'm connecting to the other router anyway. So treat this as like an internet connection. You see that this gets the IP address 192.168.203.112.
So this is the outside connection. By default, you should have internet connection already, believe it or not. So if you just go to the router, just go to the browser, see you got the internet connection. And why it's so easy? Of course it's so easy because it's a plug and play. But the thing is that you need, after, just because you get internet connection, that means you're all, that doesn't mean it's all set. The main purpose is to encrypt. Okay, you need to encrypt your wireless so people cannot log in. Right now I'm plugging into the wire, not wireless. You need to use the wire to do the setup initially. The reason is that when you change your wireless network, and then you're going to lose connection, and then you're going to have to reconnect again. So by default it shows. Okay, and if you look at your wireless router, you click on here. Okay, and you can see that you already have the wireless connection. And so let me turn back on my, because I disabled my wireless connection, a wireless adapter, because I don't want to hook up to another wireless. So let me disconnect the other wireless name anyway. So sorry. So the name of this wireless by default, it is just wireless. It's just Linksys. You can see here, it is Linksys, right here. Okay, this is the one, not encrypted. So next step you need to do, so you are in the router right now, you're still in the router. Okay, so next step you need to do, you need to rename your SSID. So what you need to do, you come here. Okay, so you go to router, you click on the wireless tab. Okay, that's all you need to do. This is the Linksys I just showed you. By default, Linksys is named Linksys. That's it. Linksys is Linksys. So you want to change SSID to, let's say, just change it to my WL, whatever you want to name. In this case, I just want to name it something like it doesn't show up differently. So, and then all I need to just click on save. Okay, that's all I need to do. Save. The router is of course going to be rebooted. Okay, so once rebooted or restarted, and then I'm going to show up again as my WL. So now let's see that if it shows up right here. So it shows up. Actually, it doesn't need to go reboot. Sometimes some router does reboot, and in this case it's not. So you got to step number 3. Step number 4 is the encryption. You do it manually anyway. So all you need to do is just go to, click on wireless. Okay, and you leave as mixed mode. So some people will disable broadcast. Broadcast mean that you make your wireless name network show up. That's called SSID. It's actually the wireless network name anyway. So I would put enable anyway. I want to see, but unless you want to be super secret or something like that, and then you have to enter manually, which is not convenient. So leave it as is. And next thing you need to do is click on wireless security. By default, it is disabled. That's what I mean. You need to set it up. So you need to click on here. So there are many tabs. I'm not going to go into detail of this. I just want to show how it works. So majority of people with the device that you need to support, like WPA2, that's what you need. Okay, and it has some mixed encrypt, higher encryption, and all you need to do, you want to use called pre-share key. So after you enable that, and then you select WPA2, all you need to do is just put your password phrase. Some people call it password. It's a pre-share key. That means that's wireless that you need to enter. Okay, this is encryption anyway, encrypt anyway, but it's just a single key for you to enter. So in this case, let me put it something like okay, 546879. You can put number and a character you want. I just want to put a number in this case, and all you need to do is just save it and click on save. Okay. Oh, I gotta take my word back to say WL 546879. So I'm gonna put like password like with mixed character and a number and click on save. Yeah. Yeah, so you need number and letter. Okay, so the encryption is already done and you save it already, and so all you need to do is try to do test to connect. So after you set up the encryption, everything should be encrypted right now. Okay, so to prove that it is encrypted, so you need to test it, of course. But before we test it, we need to change the password. We can do last step anyway, but in this case I just write down step number 5. So all you need to do next step is to change the password of the router, so that when people gain access to your wireless, they don't reconfigure your wireless. So all you need to do is just come down here under administration. Okay, click on here. By default, username, of course, you can't change. Is admin, always admin. So I want to change it to, let's say, I just put whatever you want to put. In this case, I put 546879. You need to make it stronger with number and letter. I mean a character. So 546879. That's my password. And click on save. So now you can see here, once I change it, and it's gonna prompt me for a new password. So I'm gonna put in username is admin, password is again whatever password we just changed, which is 546879. Okay, so successfully log in, and of course, and it's gonna go back to that is, and you look at the status again, and this is the internet connection. So next thing we need to do, we need to test the wireless. So to prove that if it is working and the wireless, okay, so I need to go back to the setting again. Okay, let me get this screen out of the way. Go control panel. I'm gonna either disconnect, pull the plug out of my wire, or just disable it. In this case, it's much easier just to unplug it. Okay, you're gonna see it. Its cable is unplugged. The wireless now, let me disconnect it from this one. So I'm gonna connect it to the one we just set up, my WL. Click on connect. It's gonna ask me for the password. If I want to hide the password, it's fine. Characters, that's fine. In this case, I just want to put WL 546879. Okay, you can see it's connecting now. Status, if you look, you right click on and you want to check the IP address. What do you get? 103. Again, the wire, the cable, the wire connection is actually 102. So whatever device you plug in next, it's gonna be incremented. So let's recap it, and before we wrap up, and before we do that, we just try to make sure we have the connection, internet connection. Again, we try it to connect to internet. Yes, it worked through the wireless. Right now, let's recap. So first thing we did was go to the basic setup. Okay, I'm gonna have to re-enter again. Okay, I'm going to log back in. The setup, and this is something that I forgot to mention. By default, it gives the client connection from 100 to 50. Of course, you can plug up to like 51 devices, 50 or 51, whatever. So first computer, you can change the range whatever you want, but 50 computers for home use should be enough. So we leave everything the same. Okay, everything the same. We don't do anything. And then next step we did, we rename it. We name the SSID, wireless network. So you click on wireless and you change the name. So after you change the name, what is the next step you do? The next step you need to do is actually click on wireless security. Okay, by default it is disabled, so all you need to do is just click on here and choose WPA2 and set up your passphrase, whatever that is. After you're done with that, okay, and then after you're done with that, set up the encryption, you change the password. This is how you change the password to your router. You click on admin, you change your password. After you're done with that, you test your connection, which we already done. So everything is all set. So all you need to just quit your router and you're good to go. And next time you need to log in, of course, next time you need to make sure you change your password, which is over here, WL. My password that I set is 546879. You keep a record of it. And your SSID, the same thing. I would make it like WL, was that, what is it? The name of it? My WL, actually. That's what I change. So I tend to put it, even those I know, but just in case. And also in encryption, I want to write down to a note just in case I forgot about it. And so my encryption is actually WL 546879. And that should be it. And that's how you set up basic. You have full control of it when you do it manually. If you run on the CD, it's very hard. You just limit it to it. So in this case, you can come down and change your name and the name of the wireless you want. You can change it at any time. Also, you can change the password. Come down and change password. So like people don't make it stronger. Whatever you want to do. That's all. That's wrapped up. Okay. Thank you for watching.